fat puppy here, and I am sitting on the ground to do this, but I will not be sitting here long. So what we have here is Miss Josephine Lovett Noel, born in New York City, November 8th, 1838, I think. Died in Camden, South Carolina, December 5th, 1915, at rest. And I don't know if you can see it, but right here, historic marker number 10. There's a reason for that. Josephine was a woman of intrigue. Now, I wish the sun was facing differently where you could see her tombstone better. It's just in the shadow. But you know, I can't command the sun. All I can do is just do what I can do when I can do it. Her maiden name was Lovett, Josephine Lovett. She was born November 9th, 1835 in New York City, and then died December 5th, 1915, Camden, South Carolina. I'm at the Quaker Cemetery here. This is a historic cemetery that's been around since the 1750s, I believe. It used to belong to the Quakers, and they leased it to the town of Camden. It's a very, very historic cemetery. If you're ever in the area, look it up, find out where Camden, South Carolina is, and come here and just enjoy what's here. Now, her obituary said that she was now she died at 81 years old, but in her time, she was a very beautiful and very charming woman, which I'm sure came in handy for her job, I guess you could call it. She was a spy for the Confederacy. Now, she was born in New York City. I don't know how she ended up in Camden, South Carolina. Her first husband, whose name is not on that tombstone, his name was Brown, Robert Brown. He was an aide to General Wilder out of North Carolina, Confederate general. Now, I can't find a lot of information on her spy adventures or anything, but you know, some men are pretty easy. All it takes is a smile from a pretty woman to start telling stuff, and maybe even a touch, and they'll spill the beans. And she was in the right circles to cause that to happen. Now, I don't know how a woman from New York City becomes a sympathizer to the Confederacy. I don't know any of that. I do know that her first husband, who's not mentioned on that tombstone, Mr. Brown, was from Wilmington, North Carolina. So he was in the South. And I don't know if maybe she came down south on business or what. Is pure speculation as to how she ended up here. Now, Mr. Robert Brown was his name, and as best as I can tell, he probably died within 10 years after the Civil War. Don't know what from. I can't find anything on him other than he was, married to Miss Josephine Lovett. Now, then Josephine married a guy named Charles Emile, E-M-I-L-E. I don't know how to pronounce it. Noel. Now, his name's on there. Josephine Lovett Noel. But they only married 10 years, roughly. And he died. He died in maybe not even that long. Yeah, about 10 years. They were married in 1874, and then he died in 1880. And he was about 45 years old when he died. So I don't know what he died from. And again, I can't find anything on him neither as far as death, anything in the newspapers. There was no death certificates back then. And when she died, she had 4 children, all from Mr. Brown. So she had no children from Mr. Noel. I don't know why Brown is not on that tombstone. I just don't understand it. However, her child, you can't see it, is buried right there, Charlotte Brown. She had 4 children by Mr. Brown, and all of them had the last name of Brown. She had no children by Mr. Noel. And when she died in 1915, all her children, no, not all, I'm sorry, 2 were local. One was in New York, one was in California. But this woman was a Confederate spy. I'm thinking, and when I looked at the census reports, some of them had her in New York, some of them had her in North Carolina, some of them had her in South Carolina. She traveled a lot. I just go back to the fact that newspapers say she was a very beautiful and charming woman. And she probably knew it.
Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe.